Greetings, everybody. This is going to be just a general message, like kind of like a comforting message from, the other side or your spiritual team. Because I know sometimes it could be a little bit heavy, the spiritual journey, just life in general, whatever, it could be heavy, okay? It's, with all the energies and stuff going on. So I thought that I would, deliver a comforting message for those of you who need it. I'm sure everyone needs it. So I am going to cleanse the energy here. I'm going to use my desert sage bundle. I love the way this smells. It kind of has like a lemongrass smell to it a little bit. It helps with stress, anxiety. It cleanses negative energies just like any other, sage bundle. It is a little bit flaky though. Like, as you can see, like it flakes a lot more so than anything else. But it smells really good. So I'm going to tap in, okay? I'm going to use some Oracle rather than Tarot unless I feel led to do some Tarot. I'm going to use these Oracle cards I was guided to pull out. And then before I get started, I want to do like a singing bowl just to, center our Yeah, center our centers. But center our energy, ground our energy, put us in a peaceful place. So I'm going to chime these bells 4 times, okay? And then you guys can breathe in, breathe out with each and every chime or after every chime. So. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into the reading. Well, before I do, sorry, I wanted to do the singing bowls really quick. Alright, so we all need this message, I'm sure. Around this time of year, it's a good time to connect not only with ourselves and do cleansing and releasing and stuff like that, but it's also a good time for us to connect with our spirit guides and our ancestors, and just thank them and have gratitude for everything that they've helped us with. So I felt led to do it. Also, if you guys, because it's like soup, soups and hot teas and hot cocoa season and stuff for some of you. It's a good time to fast your center, your solar plexus. Is a good time to do those types of fastings and cleanses, working with like certain herbs like cinnamons and stuff like that. So it's a good time to do that. And people are gonna try to bring you down. I've had some spiritual attacks recently, and I'm not gonna allow people to get to me. That's just one thing. because I do this to help people. I do this to help people, and I know that my messages are controversial, not controversial in that sense, but like they're not. I'm not the tradition, like not traditional. I don't want to say that. The cookie cutter type of reader. To some people, I am. Like some people say that my readings are too foo-foo, light and fluffy, and then some people say that they're so dark and all this stuff, they're negative and all that. So everybody always has something to say. That's why you cannot care about what people say, what they tell you, what they think about you. You have to be very mindful of that. Like all types of attacks are gonna come. Like a lot of attacks. I received a lot of different second guesses, and I try to keep my head up. I try to remain in a light place. Thank God I have spiritual sisters that support me and motivate me and keep me going, keep me inspired, because if not, it's easy for you to like go crazy sometimes. But yeah, it's a good time to let's talk to our ancestors and our spiritual team and see what they have to say. See what they have to say, because I know I just want to help people. That's all I've ever wanted to do. Nova, stop. That's all I ever wanted to do with my channel is motivate, inspire, and help people and heal people. And it's not always a pretty process. Anyone that's ever gone through some things and had to grow through processes and grow through situations know that it's not a beautiful process. It's not always rainbows. And I'm not here to just tell people what they want to hear and keep them on a waiting game, waiting for something miraculous to happen and, without work. Like, that's the thing. Like, my reading is not for the faint-hearted. If you have shit that you're supposed to do in this lifetime and to better yourself and to free yourself from trauma, that's what my readings are about. And anybody that knows me and knows what I'm about and has stuck with me throughout this entire time knows that I've helped people heal and I've helped myself through this. I'm not sharing things with you that I have not mastered. Spirit's not giving me messages that I have not grown through or mastered or experienced before. You can't help people if you haven't been able to help yourself in these situations. It's easy to pull stuff out of the sky and be like, oh, some money's coming. Not to say that that's not possible. Oh, this person's coming back. They want to be with you. They want to marry you. And you just sit waiting and you're hearing the same shit every week. Like, it's not helping you to heal. It's not getting you anywhere. So, angels and ancestors that lovingly guide us and assist us, that brought all of us here for this reading, to really give us some insight, divine guidance and wisdom and comfort and knowing, that we're going to be okay in our journey and what we're growing through. I don't want to say we're growing through these things. I just want to thank all of the guardians and the ancestors of the universe that have helped and assisted me. Those going through certain things and growing and experiencing life, that walk through everyday challenges, those that aspire to do better, be better, and have better in life. Whatever messages that you wish to bring forth, Most High God, I ask that this reading be divinely protected. I call to the guardians and ancestors of protection, Archangel Michael, to protect and seal this reading from any lower vibrational energies. Anything within the self that may be of hindrance or block, I ask that you remove that and that I be fully present in this reading to receive the message that's meant to come through for me, Divine Spirit, and for those watching. Thank you. Whatever's meant to come through me, Divine Spirit, I ask that it's all you. Thank you. Okay. So let's see. I have no more earthly worries. So your ancestors and your spirit guides, obviously, if this is for some of you, this could be someone that recently passed on, or passed on during this lifetime that you had a very close relationship with, or maybe you felt some sort of pain because you didn't know if they suffered through something, whether that was illness or something traumatic happened, or whatever the case is. They have no worries where they are, and this person may connect with you through nature, maybe specifically flowers, sunflowers, daisies, yellow flowers could have been their favorite. Daisies or sunflowers. I am not dead. So yeah, they may have transitioned, or they may have reincarnated as some other form, not in a human form, like a non-human form. Or there's certain symbols that they show you that they're still, amongst you. They have another life. They've taken on another life form. That's what I'm hearing. They've taken on another form. I see all of your thoughts. So you have spiritual guides, an ancestor, or just there's a connection to you on the other side. Like, you're not just a physical human being only and first. You're a spiritual being, as they say. We are aspects of the universe. We're made up of universal magic. So we're connected to something higher and something greater, and that intelligence that is connected to you, that's actually within you because it's a part of the same essence and makeup as you, they are able to connect with your thoughts. And I'm not getting this in like a creepy sense, like, you can't think a bad thought because you'll feel guilty or something, but they know you. They're highly connected to you. They know all of your wants and all of your needs, all your desires, all of your fears. And that's why I feel like they're able to assist us when our human self gets in the way. Our higher self knows what we want and what we need and can see things beyond our human perception, because there are no limits in other dimensions. The 3D dimension is a dense dimension in comparison to higher dimensions of being, and it's not so much as a outside thing. This is a internal thing. This is a level of consciousness. This is a level of being within yourself, these dimensions. So I have become one of your guides. Okay, so someone that recently passed on for you is one of your guides. They don't have to be blood related to you. I'm hearing for some of you, this could have been a friend or something that passed on. Someone that you were close to. This person has become one of your guides, and I feel like they do help you. They're around you a lot. There's a lot of blue. So this person may try to communicate with you often, or they do communicate with you. They may communicate with you through your thoughts, or you may hear them clairaudiently. Okay. Let's see. It's the angel therapy card. Some of them may come to you as birds or something that flies. Emotional sensitivity. I know when I see certain butterflies, it's like a specific type of butterfly that I see. It reminds me of my grandfather. I know he comes in that form, or as a reminder that he's around. Okay, so you have emotional sensitivity. You are a powerful light worker, heal away addictions, and have you ask your angels for help with this. Okay, so emotional sensitivity, it says, honor and respect your deep sensitivity as it is a gift to all of us. So this is quote unquote empaths, okay? Your sensitive nature, the aspect of you that feels everything deeply, is not a curse. Like, sometimes, even though it may feel like it. Someone has the initials T and K. So that could be someone's first, middle, and last name. T as in Tom, N as in Nicole, K as in, I don't know, Kiki. So that could be someone's initial, that could be yours, or that could be a spirit guide or an ancestor, passed over loved one. Some of you guys might smoke like something purple, like I guess you call it perp or something, or like this blue, yeah, some sort of cannabis or something. It's like, it has like a blue name or something. I don't know if they have something that's called Blue Lotus or something. But you may be like when you tap in, like when you're high, you may like really tap in and you can really feel everything. And sometimes that could be a little bit scary, but they're telling you that your capacity to really feel and to tap in energies and feel other people's energies is a gift. It's not a curse. And sometimes you may look at yourself as very vulnerable. I would say you are protected. You see this person has angel wings, or there's angel wings surrounding this person, protecting. So I'm gonna say that you're protected. But as I've said before in some other videos, that, you know, yes, just because you have an army behind you doesn't mean that you don't show up to the battlefield with your armor on, your shields, and your weapon. Like, you always have to come prepared and ready. So Spirit is saying to honor and respect your sensitive side and your empathic nature that is in your desire to give and to love, but know that you are not a slave to man and humanity. You're not a slave to your circumstances. You are serving, you're giving a service, you are it's like you're giving back, and it's charity, and your love is a gift. It's not something that you just give away frivolously. So they don't want you to feel as though your heart and your love and your empathic energy is somewhat of a curse, because it's not. It says you are a powerful light worker. It is safe for you to be powerful. Your spiritual power brings great blessings and loving service to the divine. So, you know, I don't like titles and labels, but, you know, light worker, it doesn't have to be that you have to become a reader, or where you have to do Reiki and all this stuff. It could just simply be something that you had, whatever seed has been planted in you, whatever your service is to your higher self, the divine, your ancestors, and to others, what you give back into the world. That passion is what your light work is. Okay, so you could be a chef that loves to, you know, feed the homeless, or feed um, sick children, or you might want to open a restaurant to give back to your family, or to carry on your grandmother's name or your grandfather's name, or your culture, or, you know, whatever it is. Like, your purpose is your passion. If it's you do makeup, your makeup is to not in vain. It's to make people feel good about themselves inside and out, and see themselves an artistic, you know, expression of who you are. And a hairstylist, you know, um, you might give back to people in so many different ways, or in through your means of these things, by doing, you know, everyday things, or your career, you can take that and give it to like a charity. Like, you know, say for instance, like, you know, you see some people, like some rappers, or, you know, some celebrities that genuinely do take what they've earned from their career, and they take it and put it into a charity or community, or they build a school, or, you know, something like that. I feel whatever it is, like, it's a passion within you. It's something that you feel convicted to give as a service. It's not something that you feel obligated to give as a slave to your gifts, or a slave to your passions and your gifts and blessings to the universe, or to those on this planet. Like, it should not be that way. And Spirit is telling you that it's safe for you to be powerful in your gifts, okay? Because everyone has something unique and different to give. And your light shines when you're walking in your true purpose. That means just simply living. I think so much of our frustrations sometimes is that when you're walking in your quote unquote life path, or your light worker path, you feel sometimes obligated to give to people, or to do sometimes. And it should not feel that way. You should genuinely want to give back to others, you know, because Spirit sees at the heart of the man when you really give because you want to, not because you feel obligated, or you're trying to be nice. And because there's a difference between kindness and just being nice, okay? You don't have to feel forced to give back and do things for people. You give your power away in that sense, okay? Another thing is, don't be so heavy on yourself when it comes to life purpose, because sometimes we think that our life purpose has to be like taking on the whole entire world and all this stuff. But just our passions and our path can open doors for other people. Like, I'll use the beauty industry in a sense, because I think that a lot of people take that as a vain like thing. Um, like, oh, your life purpose, you know, you doing makeup tutorials, that's stupid and corny. And yes, to some degree, like some people, it is a vanity, like it is coming from a place of vanity and stuff like that. But for some, like I've watched stories where sisters opened up a business or a hair business, and one woman, she created like a hairline for kids that lost their hair, and that's to make, you know, children feel comfortable with their process that they're growing through with their illnesses, and help them feel confident and stuff like that. Like there's ways that you can give back and make changes in people's lives and so on and so forth. Like it's a ripple effect. So however you walk in your path, your music can inspire people. Like you know, Tupac, like his work inspired people. His words still stick to people. And not only just was he a rapper, he was also an activist. And so it's not always has to be a big thing, but for some it can be. I hope that makes sense. I feel like I'm just rambling, but I'm just saying whatever's coming to me. But yeah, you have to do your service in love, not an obligation or fear. Even don't fear your gifts, because it may not resonate with the world right now. It may not make sense, but that's why we all have unique gifts, because if it's not something that is done before, then how else would we know if we need it or not? We wouldn't have electricity if one man didn't decide like we need some electricity. Like someone probably thought he was crazy. I'm sure they did, but the things that we have now, someone didn't think it was possible. So don't discount yourself and what you bring to the world. Heal away addictions. It says it's time to let go of behaviors that are blocking you from your heart's desire. Ask Archangel Raphael to help you with this healing. So you don't necessarily have to ask Archangel Raphael, but he is the angel of healing. He also helps with the heart chakra or matters of the heart. There's a turtle here. So there's this oceanic energy. So a lot of you may need to take some sort of cleansing baths, or every now and then you might need to fast or cleanse. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that this week. But like water fasting, or some of you guys may really resonate with the ocean and a body of water. You may feel like a sense of peace and have a clear mind when you're on the beach just meditating. Some people, you know, need to be in the ocean water to help them, because it's like a lot of salt in the water. So sea salt is actually very cleansing, and it sucks out all of the toxins out of our energy and all of that. So if you don't have the luxury of doing that, and plus on top of that, it's probably really cold right now in California, so I don't imagine people swimming in oceans or wherever you are. On the West Coast, it's probably cold, but I would suggest maybe taking a salt bath, a sea salt bath, or Himalayan salt bath. If you're, you know, someone that doesn't do baths or whatever, you can also do clearing meditations in the shower. But also, you know, you want to cleanse yourself not on the outside only, you want to do it inwardly. There's also different methods for the spiritual baths as well. Like you can do different things. You can add non-toxic crystals to your water. You can use Florida water. It's a cologne, but it's used for spiritual properties. I put a little drop of that in my water. I made my own cleansing spray that I put a little bit of that in my water as well. So there's different things that you can do. But like I said in the beginning of the reading, I said something about like fasting and clearing out your solar plexus, and you know, like doing colon cleansings. You can do natural smoothies and stuff like that, or make your own juices or your own teas, or buy teas that are specialized with helping you with those things. It's a great time because we're doing a lot of clearing and shadow work during this season, and a lot of that is belief systems and, you know, traumas from the past. And women, you may be finding that you're cleansing through your menstrual cycle. Maybe your menstrual cycle is a little bit heavier than normal. But if that's the case, I'm not saying that don't just chuck it up to the fact that you're spiritually cleansing. definitely check if you feel like it's something that needs medical attention. Also, your feminine juices as well. I've talked to a few people that've been experiencing this, and I believe that it's energy clearing. Because I asked my sister, I'm like, is something like going on? Like, what's going on? And she said she was going through it. I had someone else say they were going through it. So it's a cleansing thing. I know that's a little too much information for some people, but I feel someone is going through that. But like I said, do not just leave it up to that's what it is. If you feel like it's something that you need to look into, like medical attention, please do that. But yeah, there's a lot of cleansing. So Scorpio energy also represents like death and rebirth, and also sexual energy. So sexual traumas, you can also be clearing through your womb as well for females out there. Cleansing out sexual traumas if you've experienced that's happening. Ask your angels and ancestors to help you with your process of growing through these things, because it's not easy. The water can also represent tears, so purging and releasing, crying. Like I've been crying out of nowhere. It's like kind of weird, but I know that there's certain things that I'm releasing, and then after it's like that whole thing is done, then I go back and I'm like, okay, I was releasing something, and you might even know exactly what it is. So don't think that you cray because you're not crazy. I want to see what turtles mean. I don't remember. Of course, they represent like pace and taking your time and all of that. But let's see what this book says. And doves. Shout out to doves. My name means white dove. Okay, so you have promise. Turtles represent promises. It says, take your time in your pursuits. Trust in Mother Earth. You will have what you need. Okay. So clear away, because when you clear things that don't serve you, you're welcoming energies to come in. You're welcoming blessings to come in. When you release not only things within yourself, you're welcoming more things to come in. Let me see. Where's the birds? Not to say that this happens every time, but like as an example, like every time I do like a release or I let go of something, I feel better. I feel lighter. I feel more clear, or my gifts start to heighten. So, it could be things that internally, like when you release, say, for instance, you release negative thoughts, or you release your fears and your doubts, or you release, memories of painful stuff that happened to you, or things that people have said to you, and you get over it, you make peace with those things, you have a level of understanding as to why it needed to happen, or what you can take from that and to strengthen yourself or to gain wisdom. Then you get peace of mind, or you get clarity on things. And when you heal emotional things, when you detach from connections that don't serve you, you'll start to feel free. Like, this is also breakup season, but it's also at the same time is, what do they call it? I think it's cuddle season, if I'm not, I think it's called cuddle season or cuffing season, one of that. When it gets cold, everybody wants to find a partner, so they have somebody to keep them comfy and warm and stuff, or whatever. They call it cuffing season, if I'm not mistaken. But it's also breakup season. I notice all the time, and thank God for media, because it's like a stage, and sometimes it is an illusion, media and celebrity stuff, but you sometimes get to step back and see it play out, how the universe and the stars, quote unquote, the stars, astrology actually manifests itself through the stars, as we call them, celebrities. So you get to kind of see this. So you may notice there's always a lot of breakups that happen in Scorpio season, and maybe in your surroundings you see a lot of couple issues and stuff happening around Scorpio season. Sex scandals and stuff coming out during Scorpio season. So it's only natural that there's a lot of sexual and intense sexual desires, and for some, cleansing yourself of sexual energies and traumas and stuff like that. This is a good time to do all of that. Do your shadow work. You guys, you can't run from it. I don't know why you would even want to run from certain things that need to come up. Yeah, it's scary. Some people are not built for this. Some people want to stay asleep and stay in the matrix and think that, everything is peachy. But when you go in your shadows, you're able to find the light in the situation, and you're even more powerful than you came in. So it's not I don't feel like it's beneficial to stuff stuff away. And that's what drives people crazy when they don't deal with things. It gets to a point where you have breakdowns. Like, you can't pretend that everything is okay. And that goes for anybody that feels like you have to stuff things down because you're like, oh, that's too emotional. Oh, I don't want to be a bitch. I'm not trying to be a bitch. Like, I'm not trying to cry. I'm not trying to show any anger. I'm not trying to show any frustration. Like, the most quote unquote happiest people, and this scared me. Like, all these things are just coming up, you guys. I hope that this message resonates with somebody, but this stuff is coming up for a reason. I know I feel like I'm going all over the place with spirit. Is like this. The messages are coming. But it's really scared me when I read the story on this YouTuber. I don't remember his name. I never watched any of his videos because I'm not into that type of content that he does, but he committed suicide, and everybody was like, I guess he had problems at some point, but everyone was like, he seemed really happy. And like, that's another thing. Like, I hear sometimes like a lot of people that project themselves to be really, really happy. It's a mask that they put on because they don't want anyone to know what they really deal with and what they're handling until it gets to a point where they just don't want to deal with it anymore, and they go. You can't hide. You can't keep that stuff inside you guys. That's why I say be careful with all this love and light stuff, because it's like, it's almost like this false sense of light, this fakeness that there's no worries in the world, there's no issues. And how will we grow through things if we don't heal? We came here, if you believe that you came here for a purpose, or that you're here to do service, or to share something, or to teach people, or whatever you feel like you're meant to do in this life, or motivate and uplift people, how can you do that if you've never grown through anything, if you've never gone through anything in life, if you don't experience pain, if you never experienced depression, if you never experienced trauma, abuse? Every human has had an experience. Even if you feel like you lived an okay life, you didn't go through, like, I didn't have to go through situations where I lived in bad neighborhoods and stuff, but I did have environments and stuff where it was toxicity, and it was a lot of attacking the innocents and making you feel like you were inadequate. Like, some kids go through that. Like, a lot of kids, just because you have a lot of money, sometimes the parents are not around. Sometimes their bonding with their children is buying them clothes and buying them shoes and buying them toys, but never spending time with them. Or very strict on their kids to do this and do that. For me, I didn't have those types of things, but I did have someone that did raise me helped raise me, that was very toxic, and was toxic to other children in my family, and it affects you. So not everybody goes through, the drama stuff, or not everybody had a cookie cutter life. That's not what it is. We all grow through something, and even as adults, when we get into relationships, we may have had situations that were painful, whether we've been cheated on, whether we've been abused mentally, physically, spiritually, whatever. Shitty jobs that we don't like, and we go through things. Our spiritual journey, it taps into that, because how would you help someone else if you never grown through something? And that's what I'm saying. When I do these readings, Spirit gives me shadow work to do, because these are things that I've gone through and sometimes am growing through. And I share those experiences to help people. It has nothing to do with trying to beat people down. I hope, I'm guessing, because sometimes I don't remember everything I say in readings because I'm channeling, but that I'm giving you something to work on and to help you grow out of that situation, because certain situations I've grown out of. Not all of our methods and situations are going to be alike, but in some way they resonate and they relate, I would hope. So it's very important that we heal this, because when we do, the more in tune we are with ourselves, the more we know our truth and who we are and our power. No one can manipulate us. No one can tell us who we are, what we should be doing, what we should be saying, and how we should live our lives. You will know how to navigate through life a little bit better the more and more you cleanse your shadows, because you'll be able to find the light within yourself the more and more you cleanse these things out. And some of our shadows are not always bad. Sometimes these are untapped hidden gifts that are within the self, and things we didn't even know about ourselves, we're learning more and more of. And it can be very, very enlightening. It can also be very inspiring and also very exciting to learn deeper things about yourself the more you go into yourself. And that's why it's very important. Some of you guys may also work with Yemoya or something like that, or you guys have a connection to the ocean, maybe a family member that connects with you. But anywho, the dove represents peace, of course. It says a new cycle of opportunities are at hand. They bring a time of peace and prophecy. Mourn and release what has passed for new birth. Like I said, again, it's rebirth time. It's transformation time. Okay, have you asked your angels for help with this? It says your angels want to help you with the situation. However, they require your permission before they can intervene in your free will choices. So ask for help. Like, don't walk through this alone. You don't have to walk this path by yourself. You don't have to do this all alone. I had someone DM me. Someone DM'd me on my Instagram, and I don't want to like share too much of her business, but she was just saying like, how does she go to God, or how does she go to the universe or a higher power when she feels like she can't even pray, like she can't even find the strength to pray? And I told her, you have to surrender. Just let go. Just surrender, because I've been there where you feel like you can't even ask for help from anybody, because I'm so used to handling my inner issues on my own. I've always been the person that was the backbone for like friends and stuff, and people coming to me, and I feel like it can be heavy sometimes, like, but that's okay, because that's part of, I guess, my journey. So when people when I started attracting more people that were supportive of me in my life, it helped me to be okay to be vulnerable and to open up to people and allow support. So sometimes you have to surrender and say, I don't always know what to do. Sometimes I don't always have the answers. And when you surrender, that's when the answers come. That's when the help comes. So you have to allow yourself to open up. And she unfortunately, she says she doesn't have people that she can go to for support. She doesn't have spiritual sisters in her life. There was a period where I didn't have any spiritual sisters either, or brothers and stuff like that. I've met spiritual sisters and brothers along the way that have helped me. We've helped each other. We equally give. That's also another thing, like your connections, when you start to detach yourself from unrequited connection. I'm not just talking about romantic ones only, but friendships where it's always like you're on the phone and they're always coming to you with their problems and dramas, but then when you get to yours, they kind of gloss over it. They don't really want to talk about it. They don't really want to hear it. So you don't really have anybody to bounce off of, and vice versa, and help each other. So that's why it's important to disconnect. And a lot of people hate my freaking guts, or at least their egos do, when I do these general readings. When I do personal readings, people that are meant to come to me for readings, and I have clients that I've had since the beginning. So, when they need clarity, they'll come. They're not constantly coming to me for readings or anything like that, but I have consistent clients and stuff that do come to me for clarity, and they do appreciate the message because it's more personal. But when I do general readings specifically, I do trigger a lot of people. I won't even say a lot of people. Well, I get triggered sometimes too, and when I get triggered, sometimes, yes, it does hurt a little bit, but I know that I needed it. There's a difference between taking accountability for things and then like blaming other people. So people that do that, that's not a majority. But it's not always an easy thing to hear that something that you want, especially when it comes to love, is not of your highest good, and you get really offended and you get really mad. When you do that, that's kind of saying to yourself that you don't believe that you deserve better. You want to stay stuck and stagnant in a fantasy. You're triggered because someone is highlighting the fact that you can't be dependent on someone else's love. That will never, you cannot be dependent upon other people. You will get disappointed every time. And that was one of my lessons, that I cannot depend on everybody. I can't depend on people to love me like I love them. Or to always be there when I want them to be there, or to love me in the way that I should be loving myself. And that's not to say that you shouldn't have standards and love yourself enough to say, I deserve to be loved. That's different. But sometimes we put heavy responsibility on people to give us everything and fill our cup in ways that we should be filling our own, and that's why a lot of people are still single. That say they want soulmates and quote unquote twin flames and all this other stuff. That's why a lot of people have not come into quote unquote union, and sometimes you need that catalyst to help you heal, because it's not always that it's that person. A lot of people want to believe that's something outside of themselves, because that's what keeps the chase going. That's what keeps you from going, that's what keeps you going back to yourself, because every time when we think it's about another person, it always goes back to us. And some people don't want to face that, and that's cool. I'm not talking to those people because I can't do nothing for you. I can't help you with that. And when I say help, it's not to hold your hand and just like do everything for you, because that's not what I'm here to do. Like, I'm here to trigger things within you so that you find within yourself like what it might be that you need to do, because it's a free will choice to heal. And that's one thing that I took from someone like a long time ago. She said that every time you're seeking outside of yourself for something, that person's always going to reflect something back onto yourself. So it's up to you, basically, what you do with that, what you do with the mirror, how you heal yourself, or how you grow through your situations, because people think that it's always about another person, but it's really not. And love is a beautiful thing, but it doesn't mean anything if you don't love yourself. You'll always be looking for something outside of yourself to complete you. So don't be afraid to be vulnerable and ask for help and support. You're not exempt from receiving love, but it's time to fill your own cup too. Okay. But yeah, let's see. I knew that card was going to come out. Oh, just talking about this with my sister. Interesting. I don't know who else has been drawn to seashells, or any of you who are drawn to the, like, oceanic stuff. So this may resonate with you. But standing firm, it says, I am noble, brave, and strong. So affirm to yourself during this period that you are strong. You've gone through things before you. Or I'm going to change it. You've been growing through things. You've grown through so much up until now. So there's nothing that you can't get through. And like I said, don't feel like you have to do it by yourself. But affirm to yourself that you got this. Like, however you want to affirm this to yourself. Whether you say, I am noble, brave, and strong, or you say whatever comes to you, or whatever you feel guided to say. But also start to speak life into yourself as well. Start to be your biggest cheerleader, and appreciate how far you've come on your journey. Okay, because I guarantee you're not the same person that you once were. Even if you feel like, oh, I don't feel like I'm where I want to be. That's where you want to be. That's where your human self feels like you should be. But your spiritual self, I guarantee you, your spiritual self, your angels, your ancestors, they are rooting for you. They're rooting for you. Revealing radiance. My light illuminates the world, and it goes right with the light worker card. That's interesting. So the pearl and the seashell, I was just telling my sister tonight, I didn't know that until later on in life, late in life, that pearls really come from seashells and their process of growth. So again, you guys, in order to really find your true light within yourself and truly know yourself and what you're capable of and what your gifts are, you have to grow through your process. You cannot be afraid of inner growth and afraid of the pressure. Like, sometimes it's not always easy, but you can't be afraid of that. And affirm to yourself that even when you're going through the pressure, especially when you're going through the pressure, that whatever I'm growing through, my light is going to illuminate others. It's going to illuminate the world. I'm going to illuminate myself. Like, whatever's inside of me that's growing inside of me, it's illuminating. You see how this light is illuminating in her hands? It kind of looks like it's coming out of her heart chakra too. And there's flowers here. So, and it's almost like a cave or a botanica or something behind her of flowers and plants. So you're growing through your processes. So I'm going to change the energy when I say going through something. I'm going to call it growing through something. Because that's really what we're doing. We're growing. So remind yourself of that. When you're doing it, like, show gratitude. Say thank you for this because I know that this is pressuring me. It's pushing my light out of me. It's pushing the light forth. That's what it's doing. It's not meant to hurt me or curse me. I'm growing through it. And then you have listening to your heart. I trust the messages I receive from my heart. So maybe do some heart chakra work. This woman's speaking to her heart chakra. So it could be, holding your heart, putting your hand on your heart. I forgot which hand is the giver hand, like the feminine or the giving hand. I can't remember which hand it was. You can look it up, but like whatever hand it is, you could put your hand or both hands on your heart, your feminine and masculine energies on your chest, and say to yourself, I love you. I trust myself. I honor myself. Whatever loving messages you can say to yourself or send to your heart chakra, help you to do that, and it'll help you to further release anything that doesn't serve you, because the more and more you know how much your value is and who you are and what you're deserving of, and you only want the best for yourself and you only want to experience the best and joy for you, you'll release anything that does not vibrate with that. That's how I've been lately too. Like, I don't care who you are. Like, I might love you and everything, but if you're not serving my purpose, you got to go. Or I'm not feeding too much energy into you, because not everybody you can cut out of your life, but some people it's just like, I'm not going to answer your calls today or your text messages because I'm not in the mood for that. So I love you and everything, but stay over there with your bullshit. And sometimes I have to get myself together because I'll be like, you need to calm the fuck down with these stupid thoughts and these fears and all this stupid stuff you have. You need to get it together. Or sometimes I'll be like, you know what, it's okay. I understand. And it's not easy, and sometimes I do have to hit up a girlfriend and be like, can you help me with this? Because I'm tripping, I'm growing through it, I'm being triggered, I'm hurting, or I don't understand what's going on. And sometimes I do have to center myself on my own, and there's times where I have to be vulnerable and put aside my pride and, reach out to someone and just have someone help me clear things up within myself, help me gain that perspective and see the other side. And it's okay. Like, have patience with yourself. Have patience. And when you know your ego is on some bullshit, tell it to shut the fuck up. Like, I'm not trying to hear this. This is not true what you're telling me. Whatever your ego tells you. Oh, you can't do this. Or you're not good enough. Or remember so-and-so said that you were stupid. Or remember so-and-so said that you would never amount to anything. Or blah, blah, blah. Tell yourself that's not true. But also don't ignore the triggers, because when you ignore them, they keep coming back. I don't know if you noticed that, but they come back multiple times until you deal with them. So you have flying free, and I think this is another dove or some sort of bird. It says, I unfurl my wings and I fly. Okay. So this could also be a metaphor to open up and free yourself from yourself, or free yourself from any limitations, and think from a broader perspective. When you're growing through things, sometimes it's hard to see the other side, or when you're dead smack in a tower moment, everything is foggy and you may not know how you're going to get out of that situation because you're dead smack in the thick of a situation or circumstance. So it's hard to see how you're going to move past that situation, or what positive things are ahead. But don't get so caught up in that moment that you lose hope and faith in yourself. And don't forget to ask for help, whether it's your angels, your ancestors, your spiritual team, period, or whether it be people close to you, okay? People in your life that you can call, that you can text. And if you feel drawn to reach out to someone online, because sometimes you can't be shy to reach out to some people, because there's certain people that I used to be like, oh, I can't reach out to this person because I would be inspired by the things that they would say, and I feel like they could give me some perspective or clarity on things that I was going through. And sometimes your ego is like, no, you can't, because, oh, no, they won't want to hear you. And that's a part of the ego and the pride, or maybe even the trauma that says that you can't go to someone for help, or that you're going to be rejected, because my thing was rejection. That's something that I'm still growing through in different areas of my life, but like the biggest thing was rejection from people. Like, oh, nobody, because that's how when I was younger, um, there was a lot of times that in school I didn't always have friends. I would have to play sometimes by myself at school, or when I got older that I didn't always make friends at the schools because I moved a lot too. So I didn't every school that I went to I didn't always have people that I resonated with, and a part of that was because I was shy and I had that energy like, oh, nobody wants to talk to me, so of course you're gonna push yourself in the background and not speak to people. So there were times that I always, had that issue with rejection. So that was something I had to go through my life circumstances with people, mainly with love. Like I had to deal with rejection from partners, that triggering of not feeling good enough, or being told that you're not good enough. Sometimes you have to thank these people for the stupid shit that they say, because it pushes you to heal yourself. If you didn't have anybody to beat you down, you wouldn't be able to identify what really what really needs to be healed, because you're going to have people that come into your life that will trigger the things that need to be healed until you really get it. So you might find like, why do I always keep attracting these same types of people, and so on and so forth. And it's because that they represent something. They represent an energy or a template of something that needs to be healed most of the time. And who's to say that you're not sent to their life for a reason to help them heal? I'm sure I've triggered some people that I was with. I wasn't always the perfect partner either. Like, I'm probably not even the perfect partner right now, but probably I would say better, but at the time, no. But it goes both ways. Not everybody's innocent. It goes both ways. But spirit will send you things to help you grow through certain circumstances. And when you're on your light path, there's times where you do have to grow through the light. You'll be put in circumstances that don't always vibrate with your energy, but that doesn't mean that you don't belong. That's another thing that I've learned. And one of my sisters put that into perspective for me. Like, she quotes the Bible a lot. She does. She quotes the Bible a lot. And I'm not into Christianity like that anymore, but it still resonates with me in certain ways. And if anybody knows what this quote is, then please leave it in the comments, if whatever. But it basically, I'm going to paraphrase, but it was something along the lines of like being put in certain environments amongst, demons, or amongst people that being put in like a place. I can't remember. I don't know if it was like a Jesus um, story or something, where he was in a marketplace or environment where there was thieves and whores, as they call it, whatever. And he still held his light. He still kept his light. He was still able to walk amongst that environment, okay, and still hold his gifts and still hold his power. And sometimes we tell ourselves that we're not ready to step into maybe even a dope environment that we feel like we're not ready for because we're not good enough. And that's rejection again. Like, oh, well, I'll wait until I have this enough, or until I'm here within myself. But when you're being called to step forth into something, you have to know that it has nothing to do with the environment. You're everything. And sometimes you shift environments. If you notice, like, you can either shift an environment in a beautiful way or in a dark way. It just depends. But a lot of times when you already hold that light within you, no matter what environment you step into, it's not going to affect your light unless you allow it to. And there was a meme that I posted on my community tab, but basically it's like, the environments don't change, but how you respond to them is everything. How you respond to the environments. So know your power of influence, like, and who you are. And this is not about perfection. That's not what this is about. This is just being the best version of yourself that you can be within yourself, in the eyes of your higher self or the divine or your spiritual team, and have compassion for self. And they wouldn't call you to do or be anything that you weren't already and can't be. Like, they would never do that. It's not about perfection. That's a worldly 3D illusion. There's no such thing as perfection per se. People strive for perfection every day and still aren't happy. Like you'll never be happy off of false perfection. That's why people still cutting their lips and putting shit in their asses and still trying to thrive for followers and likes, and it doesn't make them happy. Some people still don't think they're beautiful enough. Some people still don't think they're successful enough or loved enough, no matter how much praise they get and how many comments they get or how much money they have. Some people still feel lack and feel poor inside. It has nothing to do with these things. Those are illusions. This world is not really all that it seems. I don't want to bash the world because it's like I'm not trying to get too matrixy on y'all. But yeah, you got to really discern through the bullshit. And that's another thing I'm learning. Approach things with vibration and energy, not so much of what it looks like. Like nothing is what it seems. You have to be able to discern energies and vibrations, but how can you know that if you don't know your own energy or your own vibration, or how to fine tune and maneuver and balance and raise your vibration, or if your vibration is low, or if you're sad and how to heal it, if your body's telling you to slow down or telling you need rest or telling you to go outside or telling you to love yourself. How will you know if you don't listen to yourself, if you don't spend time with yourself? This world is full of distractions. It tells us that we gotta strive for success. We have to be in a relationship. We have to look like this. We have to make this much money. You're not important unless you make $1 million, or unless you have thousands of followers, unless you have big breasts and big boobs, or you have a nice, big chest and Maseratis and Ferraris. Like all this stuff is an illusion. The most richest people in the world sometimes are not even rich people, like on an earthly scale. It could even be a homeless people on the street. That's why I said don't discount the spiritual power of people and energies and circumstances and environments. Some people will say, oh, the ghetto is, it's a impoverished place because they're not doing yoga and they don't have yoga studios, or they don't have crystals in their house, so they're not spiritual. But you talk to them and they're the most spiritually in tune beings you'll ever meet. Like, just depends on who. Like, no, I'm not gonna say that. It doesn't depend on who. It just depends on the essence of the person. And that's what I'm learning too, that this whole false sense of spirituality and love and light and all this stuff, it's a fake facade, fairy tale, like a agenda. It's an agenda. Everything gets hijacked anyway. Just like now, everything, like witches are so popular nowadays. Everybody wants to be a witch and everybody wants to do spells and everybody wants to have crystals, and it's like an agenda. Everybody wants to be twin flames and be readers, and some people are not energetically authentic in that energy. They don't really cherish and honor spirituality and all of that. It's a limit. It's not all about chakras and crystals and twin flames and fifth dimension and all this bullshit. Like, sometimes it's fighting battles. Sometimes it's fighting inner demons and fighting spiritual demons and warfare, because that exists as well. That also exists, whether we're our own enemy or there's people out there, because people want to keep this illusion up. My sister said this earlier. She said, I think it was a quote in the Matrix or whatever, Morpheus said, like, don't try to tamper with those that want to stay in an illusion or want to hold and upkeep this illusionary world and want to keep comfortable in the sleep state, in a sedated state, because they'll hate you for it. So a lot of times we get triggered. That's natural. If we don't get triggered, that means we're dead. We're not paying attention. Like, we're not aware that something's off in my vibration. That's something that I need to see what that's about. Why am I triggered? Why does that bother me? Why does that hurt me? Okay. But for others, when they get real offended and they get, oh, this is bad, and this is, oh my God, like, that's wrong, and all this stuff. Leave those people alone. Like, my readings are not for you. Like, I'm not here to upkeep people in an illusion. And I say this because not only because of my experience, but also because I have to honor what Spirit shows me and what they give me in my readings. Like, unfortunately, sometimes, and I had to make peace with my gift and say to myself that it's not always going to be light and pretty readings with me, because if I say that I'm a light worker and whatever, I don't like titles, but if I say that I'm here to like help people and motivate people and inspire people in the way that I'm guided to and meant to and want to, then that means that not everything is going to be such a pretty thing. And that might mean that I'm not going to be the popular majority. Like, it takes balls to say some of the shit that some people say, because there are readers out there that don't sugarcoat readings, and I appreciate them because they help me. At first, I thought it was all about the love and light stuff, and this person's coming back, and oh, this person's going to come back into your life. It's like a Jesus, like this Christian stuff, and no shame to Christianity, because it's helped me too, and it still does to some degree. But oh, Jesus is coming. How many times have we heard that? Like, Jesus is coming back. It's the last days, y'all. Jesus is coming back. Like, how many times have we heard that? And not to say that that could have its different purposes and meanings, and just like to say that it doesn't mean that someone will never come into your life, or you'll never find love, or you'll never have that soulmate or twin flame, whatever you want to call it. But how long? Like, what does that do for you? Like, what is it? Is it giving you something to motivate, or is it keeping you complacent? And that's what I had to ask myself, because I wasn't getting anywhere with those types of readings. They weren't helping me. But they helped at the same time, because it made me aware, like, wait a minute, like, okay, well, when does this, like when is the story going to change, or when is something really going to pop off in my life? Am I doing something wrong? And to some degree, yeah, maybe I wasn't completely all on the way with my path, because I was not focused on myself. I wasn't allowing myself to even get to a place where I could allow something into my life, because I was chasing the wrong things. I was focused on things outside of myself. So when I came across some real readings, some angelic karmas, and it really snapped me like back, and it made me say, okay, well, it's okay to not always see this side of spirituality, because it was keeping me complacent in a way. It was keeping me complacent in a way. I wasn't getting anywhere with that. So if I'm triggering people, then that's awesome. That means like I'm tapping into something that needs to be paid attention to. If I'm angry, if I'm making people angry and offended and all of that, then obviously this isn't for you. Whether the message really did resonate with you, but you just didn't like what you heard, or it's just not for you, I'm not for you. I'm not the reader for you. That doesn't mean I'm going to stop what I'm doing and stop what I'm saying because some people don't like it. I could care less about if you don't like it. And back in the day, it used to bother me to hear people say, oh, that doesn't resonate, or your readings are trash, or you need to shut the fuck up. Like, literally, someone told me to shut the fuck up. And that used to get to me. But now it's just like, I'm at a place like, yeah, it triggers sometimes a little bit to hear stupid shit like that, but then it puts you into perspective like, oh, you know, this is just an attack to me, because I know within myself what my intentions are, what my purpose is, and if I'm really working with spirit, then I cannot worry about what these other people say and what they think. If I'm helping people, that's all that matters. If I'm helping 1 or 2 people through this reading out of 100 viewers, 200 viewers, 1,000 viewers, whatever, as long as I've helped somebody, a message was delivered to the person it was meant to be delivered to, then so be it. That's all it was about. It's not about popularity and all this shit. Like, this shit is temporary, and YouTube is not the only platform. I believe spirit has something much more for me outside of YouTube. This is not it. This is only a fragment and a piece of what spirit is, you know, allowing me to do and allowing me to reach people. This is not it. So subscribers and all that stuff doesn't mean anything if all you're putting out and promoting is an agenda that fits and appease people, or, you know, just wanting to make money or wanting to hop on a wave because it's popular right now. Like, that's not what it's about for me. So much love to you guys, because I know this is not easy, and I probably had a little bit of a rant or whatever, but this shit is not easy, y'all. Like, it's not easy. I appreciate anybody that's listened to it this far and is not judging me for just venting, or not even venting, but just expressing and being vulnerable with you guys, because I feel like I owe you that much. Like, not to just come on here and just be a reader and then just get off and that's it. Like, I at least owe you guys that much. I feel, to be vulnerable a little bit and let y'all know that I am a motherfucking human at the end of the day. And I feel for a lot of real quote unquote light workers out there, because people can be very cruel. And this is not easy. If you're really doing this authentically, you're not doing it for the followers and the subscribers and the views and the money and to hop on a wave and because it's popular, or some fake shit, do a couple of pick a card readings and or whatever, or put up some whatever. I feel people use the term light or use the term positive and negative very loosely, just like how people use twin flame and soulmates and all this stuff very loosely. It's become very watered down, very corny and played out. But people use negative and positive in a loose way, when like they don't really know what they're saying, because it's like we've been so conditioned to think that life is all rainbows and stuff, and it's an agenda, this new age agenda stuff that powers that be, the people that are dominant in the world have projected this. Don't look at anything that isn't fairy tale fantasy like, and to keep you chasing this false reality rather than dealing with yourself, because the key here is to master this reality. That's the key here. You can't do that if you don't know both sides, right? Like Neo, he had to fight. In order to fight and his opponent, he had to know the first step. He had to know what the enemy's next step was. In order to know, you have to go within the enemy, within yourself, what your weaknesses, quote unquote weaknesses, are, your fears, your doubts. You have to confront and face all of that and overcome it. So when you do have these attacks where sometimes your own mind plays these games and tells you, oh, don't think that you can do it, because remember that last time when you quote unquote you failed, or that didn't work out, don't do it because you'll look stupid. It's like Carrie's mom, they're all gonna laugh at you. Like, your inner voice inside that tells you they're all gonna laugh at you, so you don't do something. And sometimes it will be people that are sent to you that will tell you, oh, you're stupid, you trash, oh, you can't do this, and oh, are you sure? Oh, I don't think so. I don't think that's gonna work. Or, oh, why can't you be like everybody else? Why can't you be a little bit more nicer? Why can't you shuffle like this? Or just all kind of stupid shit. And if you allow that to get to you and say, oh, well, maybe I should water myself down just to appease people. Like, that's what I thought to myself. Like, oh, maybe I am being negative. And I know it's not me, because I'm not a negative person. So I know it's not me. Like, I know it's not me. So I'm saying to myself, okay, well, what is it? And I had to say, like, okay, God, have I helped people with my readings? Yeah. Do I have people that still come to me for clarity and for readings? Yes, I do. So it's not to say that I don't have faults and stuff that I could do better. Maybe it's helped me to kind of be more considerate, that sometimes, like, I have to be careful. Like, I can't talk to an audience of people how I would talk to people close to me. Like, some people kind of get how I talk, and that's how I like people to talk to me. Sometimes it's like to be real honest and blunt with me, even if it hurts me, because I know that it's going to be in my highest good. Like, not talking down on me and calling me stupid and all this stuff, but telling me, like, like, yeah, like, I'm going to be real with you, like, blah, 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 this and that. And it's like, okay, I know. I need to get my shit together in that area. Okay. So it's different. So I had to kind of be considerate about how I say certain things and stuff like that without still watering down the message. Because that's the thing, like, people want you to shut up. Someone told me to shut the fuck up. Like, she clearly told me she wanted me to shut up. And that's because she couldn't. She didn't want to hear what I had to say. And that's okay. Like, you're one of the, out of the many that do resonate with my readings. You're just a little fly, a mosquito, and it's okay. And if it's something in life where you say, well, I don't have a lot of makeup to do my makeup tutorials, or I'm not as skilled as so-and-so on YouTube or on Instagram, so I can't post my videos, or I don't have the right camera. I had that issue too. I didn't have I still don't have it. I use my iPhone and my iPad. At the time, I had a shitty Samsung tablet that I was using that wasn't even mine at first. I didn't have my own recording, but I still had to go on. And at that time, my videos, they were popping at the time. I did have a lot of people and a lot of subscribers and a lot of people asking me if I did do personal readings, and that wasn't even my thing. I wasn't even posting for service. I didn't even think that I would even gain clients. That wasn't even on my mind, so it kind of shocked me. I was not prepared. I didn't have all the little setup stuff and the table. I had like a little coffee table in my room that I set up. I didn't even have a camera or a tripod set up or nothing. I had to use like some props to set my camera up to do my readings. So I didn't have all the preparation, but my channel still was doing good at that time. If I would have like held back, who knows if I would have did it. And then my second fear was I don't want to come on camera because I was judging myself. Like, oh, I don't want to be judged. I don't want people looking at my face and my teeth and, oh, my crooked teeth, blah, blah, blah. And, I'm not presentable and all this little, all this stupid stuff that kept me from presenting myself and coming out and just showing Walu child and being myself and being authentic. If you allow all that stuff to stop you from showing up in life and showing up with your gifts, well, I didn't go to a culinary school, so I don't think that, I should be a cook or I should be a chef or I should open my own restaurant or I don't have any experience. And all this stuff that you might tell yourself, don't stop doing that. Like, stop doing that to yourself. Stop comparing yourself to other people. That was another thing I had to grow through on here. Stop comparing yourself. You're not going to be like Dorian Virtue. You're not going to be like whoever else is popular or popping on here. Like, that's not your path. It's not you. Whether you gain as much popularity or more or less, it doesn't matter. You're not supposed to be like everybody else. You're not supposed to be a carbon copy or try to make yourself read like this. And it used to make me think, well, maybe something is wrong because, oh, well, there's a lot of channels that do always pick up light and fluffy messages and maybe it's just me. But at the end of the day, this is a business for some people. And some people do not want to lose clients. People want to keep up whatever they need to keep up, keep people smiling and keep people happy, I guess, in some sense, in a way that you don't ruffle any feathers or you don't provoke any other way of thinking then this is just what light and love and light and namaste, and then that's just what it is. It's an agenda. It kind of reminds me of that time. I don't know if I ever shared this story. I'm talking for a very long time, but hopefully my rants help people. But anyway, I had got an interview from a psychics, or it was a metaphysical bookstore where they had psychics in it, and I was applying for a job as a psychic because a reader there had referred me because I read her. She was real sweet too. But me and my friend were just going in there on a random day because we were in the neighborhood after we had our brunch or whatever. We decided to stop at that store and see what they had because we're like, let's look for some candles or whatever. And then we ended up stopping off at this, she was on break or whatever, this reader, she was on break. And we were like, oh, your cards are pretty. And she was like, sharing her cards and who made them or whatever. Let us touch them and look at them and all this stuff. And then my friend was like, oh, I have this opposite deck. It was a Mystic Moon deck, actually. It was a Mystic Moon Oracle deck. And she's like, oh, do you have this one? And she ran to her car. My friend ran to her car and and showed her the cards, and she was like, I'm having issues with my ex, blah blah blah, and I don't know what to do with him, blah blah blah. What should I do? And I gave her a reading. I sat down and gave her ass a reading, and she gave me a reading back. It was cool. She was like, my boss, they're looking for people to fill spots where they're the spots of the week that we don't have readers. So you should apply. I think you would be good here. And I was thinking to myself, like, I might as well, because I do want to get out the house sometimes and stuff, because I do most of my work from home. So I'm like, I would like to do that and interact with people more, because that's something that I would like to do more of, is working face to face with people and overcome that fear that I have about crazy people. But um, so I was like, okay, I'll try it. So I had the interview with the lady, and the thing was, I was supposed to give her a reading, but it was kind of like a cold reading, kind of like like you're playing like you're giving a reading, and I couldn't do that. So like some real shit was coming up, and I was like, oh my god, like why is this happening? Like stop, like all this stuff, like there's something that still needs to come up and be healed. And she was trying to throw me off. That's the thing. Like certain people try to throw you off. Like you, it's funny. Like you can tell when people are trying to throw you off and make you think that you're not reading them, because like you're reading it, you're picking it up, and they're going, I I don't know, I don't think so. So I was like, okay, well let me stop, because I don't want to get in your business. I stopped, and she was like, let me give you an example of what we're looking for. We're looking for someone that can tell us, hey, there's a guy, he has blonde hair and he's on a motorcycle. He's so and so years old, and he's this is a new guy that's gonna come into your life, and he's gonna be this and he's gonna be that. That's what we're looking for. And I was like, oh, okay, well let me try it and see what's coming in your life. And again, the same messages were coming up, and I was like, fuck, I'm sorry, I don't know what to do. I didn't say that, but I was just like, this is what I'm seeing. I was being honest. I don't know how people can do that with the cards and be like, I'm seeing this, when, I mean, you can like take a tarot card, like you can look at a card or whatever and say, oh, you're strong and you're powerful, and what's coming to you is a lot of wisdom, and everybody's gonna love you, and you're gonna be just flying high. Like that's what she wanted me to do, and I couldn't do it. Like I couldn't just make some shit up. Like I can't do it. I'm a healer first, y'all. Like I have, it's like a therapy session. Like we're getting to the root of the problem. Now, how do we fix it? That's how my readings go. I don't know how else to do that. So, long story short, I didn't get the position. She was like, I would definitely suggest you, or I would love to recommend it. Keep you in mind for our tarot events when we have fairs and such and blah blah blah. But I'm gonna have to pass. Like, and that triggered me, because I was like, well, fuck, am I not a good reader? Like, what's wrong with me? Like, Spirit, why do you keep doing this? Why do I have to be the reader that tells people, oh, you have to heal this, and blah blah blah, and like, why do I have to be that reader? It sucks. Like, if that was the case, then I should have just went to school to be a fucking therapist. But have I helped people? Yes. Y'all, like, I'll tell you, the people that tell me that they've helped me and send me messages and DMs and say, you inspired me, you helped me, keep doing what you're doing. That's the only reason why I keep doing this, y'all. Otherwise, I'd be like, fuck this shit. Like, why am I doing this, God? Like, you playing games with me. Like, I hate this shit sometimes. Like, it's like, it sucks. And I let my ego get in the way sometimes. And I used to get offended a lot and triggered and be like, oh, well, I'm losing subscriptions because like I shouldn't have posted this stupid fucking video. And then you look at the likes, it has more likes and dislikes. That shows you that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Sometimes, like, yeah, the numbers don't matter, but sometimes you need to see how you're helping rather than focusing on what people don't like. And that's what I tell people. Instead of focusing on the people that discredit you and don't like you, or people that don't want you in their life, or people that are ignoring you, the players and the fuck boys and the fuck girls, or the people that just aren't for you and you're trying to make it happen, focus on the people that are in your life. And I don't know why Spirit's doing this. Like, again, I don't know, this is just coming up, but another soul sister, she was a client of mine. I still read for her every now and then, not often like that, but she used to get readings about a situation with a guy that just was not good for her. And she finally got to a point within herself where she said, it was the last reading that you gave me, I think it was like a year or two ago. You had said something and it helped me, and I released this person. I made a vow to myself that I would completely be within myself and totally just be me and live my life. Like, I just decided to do that. And that's when I met my husband. Not even, I think she said not even a month later, she met her husband. And sometimes we block our blessings because we're focused on the things that are not for us, and we're forcing and pushing things, and the universe still repels it from us, but we still try. There's a difference between perseverance towards a path or a goal, like an Olympian, like a person that's been training for years for the Olympics. Like, sometimes you and it just shows you, like, okay, well, I got to perfect my skills. I need to, okay, I know that I was a second late with whatever, or I need to build up my pace when I'm running that last mile, or I need to, before I like use all of my my punches out, I need to not use so much of my stamina before the end, before I, do that little KO move. I need to perfect that a little bit. Like, that's different between saying, like, this person is showing me time and time again they're a fucking cheater, or they don't want me, or they're not leaving someone, and I'm hanging on hoping that this person is going to leave their husband, their wife, their girlfriend, their boyfriend, or stop being a player, or this person is telling me they don't want to be with me, and I'm still hanging on hoping that they'll get the hint and all this stuff. When you stop that, what's meant for you naturally comes. Sometimes you can't even see the things that are meant for you because you're focused on the things that aren't. The people that don't serve you. When you're focusing on the haters and the naysayers, you lose sight of the fact that you do have supporters sometimes. So it's all about perspective. So I know I talked y'all ear off. I really hope that this reading resonated. Let me give y'all something else. Let me give y'all something, a little more treat, because I feel like I owe it to you guys. I talked y'all ears off. I did. Yeah, I mean, this has been a very funny journey. Like, y'all, like, it's not always easy. I appreciate those that really support me and really appreciate me. And even if you don't always watch my videos and you just subscribe, because I have readers, they're like elders. I watch the elders, like the older readers, like the older ladies. I resonate with them more. Although I do resonate with people sometimes that are like around my age group, and some of them I think are even younger, some young readers, like young people. But I still have some OGs that I have subscribed to. I don't watch their videos all the time, but if ever, really. But I still subscribe because I still support them, because they help me on my journey. So if I'm one of them that you don't watch, but you maybe you watch every now and then, you just subscribe just to support me, I appreciate y'all. Thank you. Because I do have some people that have been kicking it with me since I started my YouTube channel, and that's fucking amazing, and I appreciate you. Alright, anything else a spirit wants to share with y'all? Because this is a long video, and whoever really listened to all of this, y'all must really love my ass, because I could, sometimes I could talk a lot. And I don't really talk a lot, but I can talk a lot sometimes. Okay. I see 2 8s. You have the 8 of Swords and the Strength card, which is 8. But you have the 2 of Cups. 2 of Cups, 8 of Swords, Strength card, the King of Swords, the 10 of Wands, and the Magician. So the 2 of Cups, I feel like this represents a union within self. As of right now, I'm getting a union within self. And for some of you, it may be that there is a King of Swords. It could be an air sign person, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. It does not have to be a man per se or masculine energy. It could be, also doesn't have to be an air sign either. Like, if I didn't say that. This can represent an aspect of self. This could be some sort of wisdom. But the thing here is, like, there's this inner strength to cut things out with the 8 of the Swords and to overcome the mind. Like, this is overcoming the blockages and the obstacles within self. This is overcoming your own, the own enemy in yourself, and choosing higher wisdom over deception within self. So I'm noticing that there's a snake on this side and then there's an owl here. So this can represent the deception in the mind, and this represents the wisdom. So it's all about your perception. This woman, she appears to be helpless in the woods. Like, she is bound to where it looks like she's completely bound, but there's one arm behind her, so you don't really know if she's really, if all of her arms are bound. But she's blindfolded, so she's under this illusion that if she steps forward, if she does move forward in life, if she decides to free herself of something, that she's going to hurt herself. Because if she does walk forward, there's a possibility that she could cut her foot with these swords. That is a possibility. But she can also bend down, go deep within herself, bend down, go within self, and reach into one of these swords, one of these negative thoughts, one of these fears, one of these doubts, go deep within, go down, and utilize them to free herself. So when you go deep within yourself and you have to confront and face those fears and those doubts, and when you use it to free yourself and say, okay, well, I identify that that's a fear of mine. Like me, as an example, I'll use this as an example, not wanting to start my YouTube channel because I didn't feel like I had enough resources to do so, and I wasn't presentable in my eyes to even get in front of a camera. And all this stupid stuff. Instead of doing that, I said, I'm being guided to do this. So that's why I'm going to confront this fear and say, fuck that. I'm guided to do this. I've been called too many times to do it. I had 2 people in my family tell me that I should do it and stop doubting myself, because I was giving readings to family before I even got on YouTube. So I had to stop doubting myself and just do it. So step down and face that fear and free yourself of it. And take the blindfold off, get out of the illusion, and you're able to see all the other things that you have to confront and face and release. Free yourself. Because it's easy to just get into your fears and the illusions and let that part of you, or let negative people tell you that you can't do something and that you'll never be, and stop you from moving forward. And the strength card represents also that inner strength, and sometimes that pride and the ego, and there's a snake there again. So this can represent temptation, or this can represent the eve and the beginning of something for you. Tapping into a new inner strength and power, newfound strength and power within self. The power to make peace with your fears, you know, because she could easily fear this lion, but she's like, you're my friend. Like, my fears, my doubts, you're really my friend, because you're helping me. You're showing me my inner strength. So I thank you for that. And those of you that spite me, I appreciate you, because you show me my inner strength. That's what I get from this card. Like, and this lion is really just a big, sweet kitty cat. So your fears and your ego is not as powerful as you think they are. The naysayers and the haters, they're not as powerful as you might think they are. This is what this card represents for me at this time. That's how I'm seeing it. And then you have the King of Swords. So the King of Swords can represent, and he's holding a skull in his hand. So this represents that consciousness as well, that higher wisdom and consciousness, the victory over adversity. That's how I see it. There's a crow here. I'm going to look at what crows mean, because I don't really remember. Oh, and I said this sometime before too, because I got this as like a message from spirit as well. I don't know if you guys have ever seen The Wiz. It's the Afro Sheen version. It's like the African American version of The Wizard of Oz. It's one of my favorite movies. It has Diana Ross as Dorothy, the Tin Man, the Lion. I think Nipsey Russell was the Tin Man. I can't remember who played the Lion, and then the Scarecrow, of course, Michael Jackson. And Michael Jackson's character was like very doubtful of himself and his intelligence and his bright ideas and his poetry. He had these crows that surrounded him, defeating him, making him feel less than, and telling him he was stupid and he's just trash and he's a trash dummy, and just bringing him down. And he was really intelligent. So this can also represent overcoming that crow within yourself and the crows outside of you that speaks that darkness over you. So you have magical help with the crow. So the crow in this deck, it says unexpected help with problems and obstacles is at hand to bring relief. Your magic is calling and it will be answered. So again, you're being called to something higher and something greater, and you can't afford to allow the inner demons within yourself and also the outside interference. But also this crow, as the Animal Messages book said, that the crow also represents help is on the way. Help is here as well. So you're not doing this alone. But this also represents self-mastery of the mind for some of you. Maybe you've already reached that point, or you're reaching points where you're mastering the things that could have been. Because the number 8 to me, it's like it could represent an abundance of something, but it can also represent something that's continuous as well. So you could have had these same thoughts and they needed to come to an end. So you finally overcame these heavy thoughts that you've been struggling with for quite some time. That doesn't mean that we've overcome every adversity within self or that may come, but we learn how to be stronger and how to maneuver through it. So the 10 of Wands, is it kind of like, in the sense, he's hiding behind these wands and he doesn't know how close to home he really is, and it could be overwhelming to carry all these wands by yourself. And I feel like that's the message of help, that you don't have to do it. It's the end of feeling like you have to do everything by yourself, or the end of not having support, or feeling like you're not capable of supporting yourself. So it can go either way. But this is having that inner strength for self to persevere and keep moving, knowing that you don't have to carry all this weight. Don't be so hard and pressure yourself into things and situations. And I also get like a new dawn in the background, like it's a sun coming out, like it kind of looks like a sunset, or it could be a sunrise, but I feel like this represents a new dawn. And then you have the Magician card. The Magician card also has an 8 or infinity symbol in it. So 888 could be significant to you. Maybe you see a lot of 8, so 8 means something, period. But the Magician card is knowing that all you have is your power. Like these tools and all these things that we have, I've seen readers that don't have cards, they print out their own cards or they make their own cards. You use what you got and make it work, because it's not about the outside things, it's not about the tools, it's the power that you put into these things. You add momentum to these things. Like, yes, this sage bundle may have healing properties, but if I don't set my intentions to really cleanse and clear, it's just some smell good shit in the air that's not really doing much if I don't put an intention. If I have a candle and the candle is meant to be like the person who made the candle, like if you buy candles that already have intentions in them and stuff, and they have like prayers on them, like obviously someone made it with the intent that it would be that. But when you charge it up and it's meant to help you with your situation, you put an intention into it. Otherwise, a candle is just a freaking candle that says prosperity on it or love, if you don't put your intentions and your power into it. So you have to utilize what you do have. The Magician makes way with what he does have. And he still uses his power. He still uses his magic and his gift to create and manifest for himself. And it's all about what's inside of the man, not outside of him. So this is what light work is about. You're using your light to make things happen and to inspire, or to do whatever it is that you feel called to do, utilizing your skills, because not everybody, like certain rappers, they may have had to create albums in their basement. They didn't have money for studio time. They didn't have money to pay for producers and writers, and sometimes they just had to use, the homies that could write songs or whatever and bounce ideas off of people, and they're platinum artists and stuff now. Like, you have to kind of look at it in that retrospect. Like, when you have a gift, you have a calling, you can't afford to make up some bullshit and say that you can't do it because of this or because of that, or because where you came from, or where your circumstances are, where you live. Like, that does not matter. There's people that live in Beverly Hills that is just as dirty as they want to be, energetically dirty. Regardless of how many spa treatments they get and how many milk baths they take, their energy is dirty. And they live in Beverly Hills. There's a person that lives on the street that's much more spiritually clear and clean and sparkly and bright, not even talking about their clothes or the fact that they haven't taken a bath, but they could be way more spiritually light than this other person that lives in Beverly Hills that's got all the latest shit, that's got on some expensive ass perfume or cologne, or drives a Maserati. That these people are dirty, some of them. Not everybody, but it's just, I'm just saying as a metaphor, and it's real shit too at the same time. Like, you have to look past the flesh of a person and really look at the heart and the soul of an individual. That no matter where you come from, you don't measure your worth based off of what you have and what you don't have, where you come from. That doesn't matter. Basically, that's what this is saying. So I hope that resonated. Hope that resonated with you. And if it did, you know what to do. Feel free to give a like. And I appreciate those of you that stayed and listened to this whole rant. Hey, and I got something for you too. I got something for you. For those of you that listen to this whole thing, like through and through, like you listen to the whole thing, and I will know because obviously you got the memo, because you listened to the end, I will give you a free reading. I will give you a free reading with me. I will give you a pre-recorded voice reading with me about any topic that you want. Any topic that you want clarity with, I will give you a free reading. If you sat through and you listened to this whole thing, I will know because you hit me up about it. You'll hit me up and say, hey, remember in that video you said if I listen to this all the way through, I will give you a free reading because I appreciate you. Blessings to y'all. Much love. I appreciate y'all really. I really do. And much love.